Your neighborhood Chevron gas station invites you to...
Let George do it.
Brought to you by the makers of Chevron Supreme Gasoline and RPM Motor Oil. George Valentine. Yes, George Valentine, fresh out of uniform and eager to put his many talents to work, as well as to earn a living, ran an ad in the local paper. Do you have a crime that needs solving? Do you have a dog that needs walking? Have you a wife that needs spanking? Let George do it. His ad attracted several clients, some who paid him a fee and some who paid him nothing. His secretary, Claire Brooks, worries about the mounting pile of bills. But George, as he sits in his office with his feet on his desk, is occupied with more important matters.
Claire, I wonder, do you think I could find any sardines?
Oh, I'll send Sonny out. Sardine on rye?
Oh, no, not a sandwich. Bait.
Bait? What do you want to catch?
A fish.
Mr. Valentine, you can't afford a fishing trip.
Yeah, but if I get a client before Friday, a nice, simple case, somebody wants me to find their uncle or lose their mother-in-law, just a few quick bucks and I'm on my way.
You can't afford a fishing trip.
I'm sitting back in the rowboat. I haven't a care in the world, just soaking up the sun. All of a sudden, wham! Then another wham.
Mr. Valentine?
I got a bite.
What is it, Sonny?
Yes, Sonny, what is it? Halibut, swordfish, yellowtail?
Mrs. Harrington. Isabel Harrington. James Harrington's wife.
There, you see, I did catch my fish. I told you, sardine's the best bait in the world.
Hey, sis, is he feeling all right?
It's normal for him. Send her in, Sonny.
Okay.
Now, remember, Mr. Valentine, she's the Mrs. Harrington.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, Mr. Valentine?
Oh, come in, Mrs. Harrington. Come right on in. Sit here. You'll be more comfortable.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. This is my secretary, Claire Brooks. But don't let her upset you. She knows all the skeletons intimately.
Oh, how charming. Mr. Valentine, I've been trying to get up enough nerve to come here.
Well, you just go right ahead and open up and talk. Nothing goes out of this office.
And nothing comes in.
Oh, I'm afraid that someone close to me may get into trouble. Oh, Mr. Valentine, I want you to watch that person every minute of the day. Do you understand?
Well, now, wait a minute. What kind of trouble?
Well, you see... Oh, it's so humiliating. This person picks up things.
Picks up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a kleptomaniac.
Oh, Mr. Valentine, I can't go on.
Oh, now, Mrs. Harrington.
Oh, no, please. Later. Have lunch with me. 2:00 at the Savoy.
Oh, but Mrs. Harrington...
Please, be there.
A kleptomaniac, huh? Must be her husband.
Her husband? Mr. Valentine.
Yes?
Don't look now, but your fountain pen is missing.
Well, look, Mrs. Harrington, the food is fine and the company excellent, but what do you say we get down to cases? Give me back my fountain pen.
Your fountain pen?
Look in your purse, Mrs. Harrington.
Oh, then you know everything. Well, I'll be quite frank. I'm under a doctor's care. He expects to cure me in a month or two, but meanwhile, my husband is running for alderman.
Oh, I see. Does your husband know that you pick up things?
Oh, no. And he must never find out. Oh, please promise me.
Don't worry, Mrs. Harrington.
You see, Melvin Gordon is running against my husband. You know Mr. Gordon.
Gordon's department store, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, yes. Well, just forget about it, Mrs. Harrington. The election is tomorrow, and I'll stay with you until your husband's elected alderman.
Oh, Mr. Valentine, if you'll protect me from myself, I'll pay you well. I promise.
Oh, well, we'll discuss that later. Now, suppose you run along home, and I'll be there this afternoon.
Oh, that's wonderful. I have a little shopping to attend to, and then I'll go straight home.
Oh, good. That's fine. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, how about that, Claire? I'm going home and pack my rod and reel.
Mr. Valentine.
Oh, I can just taste those fish.
Mr. Valentine, she went shopping.
Yeah, I know she did. Shopping? Claire, let's get out of here.
Why come here? What makes you think she shops in Gordon's department store?
Because she'd be in most danger here. You heard her. Gordon is running against her husband for alderman.
Still, Mr. Valentine.
Where?
There. Compacts.
Compacts?
Straight ahead.
Oh, what's she got in her hand?
Gold compact.
Uh-huh.
With stones.
How much?
About $50. Oh.
Oh,
Did you see that?
in her pocket. Come on.
What are you going to do?
Well, you look at compacts and stay close to me. You got it?
But, Mr. Valentine...
Shh, do as I say.
Oh, all right.
Well, hello there, Mrs. Harrington.
Oh, Mr. Valentine.
Yes, a lovely store, isn't it?
Oh, yes, I've often told Mr. Gordon that he can be proud.
I beg your pardon, madam, but may I have that compact?
A compact? What compact?
The one you were looking at, madam.
Oh, well, I decided against it, miss.
Oh, that's quite all right, madam. But where is it?
Why, I put it back on the counter, of course.
It isn't on the counter.
Oh, well, now, young lady, I distinctly saw Mrs. Harrington put it back on the counter.
Yes.
Yes. I said hello to her. She put the compact down, and
All
then...
I know is it isn't here. I think I ought to call the store detective.
Oh, no, don't do that.
He'll take you upstairs to have a little talk with Mr. Gordon.
Mr. Gordon.
No, wait a minute.
The compact isn't here, mister.
Oh, well, why not search that young lady there?
What? Who, me?
Yeah, look in her pocket.
Why, did you... Oh, it is in my pocket.
Well, come on, miss. Mr. Gordon will want to talk to you.
Mrs. Harrington, go home. Beat it.
Oh, yes, I will.
Come on, miss, this way. And don't make any trouble.
No, miss, don't make any trouble.
Why, you...
No. You're wasting your time, young man.
But, Mr.
There
Gordon...
have been too many things disappearing from my store. I'm going to make an example of this young woman, and I can't be talked out of it. Now, you get that?
Mr. Gordon, are you married?
I certainly am.
Then you have a wife?
I certainly do.
Mr. Gordon, do you love your wife?
Is the door closed?
Yes.
I love my wife.
Then you must know how I feel.
This girl is your wife?
Mr. Gordon, don't listen to him.
It's all right, Claire. In spite of everything you've done, I'm not ashamed.
Oh.
Look, Mr. Gordon, here's $50 for the compact. Does that cover it?
No, I guess so.
Oh, I promise you, it'll never happen again.
No, all right, take her home.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Gordon. Darling, thank him.
Let me out of here.
Yes, darling, of course. Goodbye, Mr. Gordon.
Good luck, young man.
Oh, Clara, listen.
I hate you. It was the dirtiest trick you've ever played on me, and I hate you. You'll never get a chance to play another trick because I quit, understand?
Oh, well...
I definitely quit, and I definitely hate you.
Oh, Claire, honey. Now, look, you like your job. I know you do. Now, forget it, darling. It's just part of the game. Now, come on. Wipe your eyes and powder your nose. Here, use the compact. And just to show you the kind of a man I am, you can keep it.
Now what?
Now we go back to the office, and then I'll go to the Harringtons.
Don't think I'm going to forget this in a hurry, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, be a good girl, and I'll bring you back a halibut.
Someone's trying to attract your attention in that car.
Mr. Valentine.
Oh, it's Mrs. Harrington. Mrs. Harrington, I told you to go home.
Well, I'm going now, Mr. Valentine. I was worried about Miss Brooks.
Oh, well, everything's fine.
Oh, you were superb, Mr. Valentine. And whatever my bill will be, I want you to double it.
Well, thanks a lot. Now go on home.
I'll be expecting you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't laugh, Mr. Valentine. Maybe you don't believe in a woman's instinct, but I wish you'd drop this case. I have a feeling that... Mr. Valentine, what are you doing with that fur scarf?
She did it again.
A silver fox.
Claire, think. Was she wearing a silver fox when we had lunch with her or while she was shopping?
Oh, no, I couldn't have missed it.
I noticed it in the car just now while we were talking to her. She must have picked it up when we were with Gordon.
A silver fox. Oh, call her back, Mr. Valentine. Make her take care of it.
Well, now, don't get excited. Why should I worry a good client?
But, Mr. Valentine, I have a feeling.
Will you forget that you're a woman and that you've got an instinct? Come on, we'll go back to the office.
With the silver fox?
With the silver fox. Come on.
Oh, all right, but I've got a feeling. Oh, my feet are killing me. The least you could have done was to hail a cab.
I just put out $50 for that compact. Only one more block.
Mr. Valentine,
It's sunny.
Well, why did you leave the office?
I've been looking all over for you two.
What's up?
Mrs. Harrington phoned.
Yeah?
She says when you go out to her house this evening, don't worry if you bump into a cop.
A cop?
It seems that last year on her birthday, her husband gave her an animal to drape around her neck, and somebody stole it this afternoon out of her car.
Say that again, Sonny, and slowly.
Somebody stole her fur scarf. It was a silver fox, black, with... Hey, like that. You've got it.
Yep, I've got it.
Mr. Valentine, what are you going to do with it?
Take it to Mrs. Harrington.
Oh, but there might be a cop around her house.
Well, I'll sneak by him. I'll find a cab and we'll go right out there. Here, Claire.
What?
Meanwhile, wear it around your neck.
No, thank you. I'm not wearing any hot fox. It's not fashionable this season.
Then here, Sonny, wind it around your head.
Huh?
You know, like Daniel Boone.
I don't want to be Daniel Boone.
Then be Buffalo Bill.
I don't want to be Buffalo Bill.
Sonny.
I want to be Van Johnson.
Never mind, I'll stuff it inside my shirt.
Mr. Valentine, I've got a feeling...
Sweetheart, shut up, will you? Hey, here comes a cab. Hey, taxi,
Mr.
taxi.
Valentine, wait.
Taxi, come on.
It's a police car.
Uh-oh.
Jeepers.
Can I do something for you, sir?
Oh, I beg your pardon, officer. I thought I was hailing a taxi.
Oh, that's quite all right, sir. Very understandable. Can I give you a lift?
Oh, no. I wouldn't think of troubling you.
No trouble at all. Step right in, sir.
Oh, no, officer. I just can't let you do it. But thanks anyway. Goodbye.
Would you mind telling me your name?
My name? Valentine. George Valentine.
Mr. Valentine, pardon me for mentioning it, but, what is that sticking out of your shirt?
My shirt? Oh, you mean my pet? Yeah, my pet. I always carry him close to me.
Pet? Pet what?
Well, it's Gopher. That's it. My pet Gopher.
Strange. First time I ever saw a gopher as polyphemus with a bushy tail.
Gopher is polyphemus.
Gopher?
Oh, yes. It's a gopher.
With a bushy tail?
Oh, well, you see, this is a funny sort of gopher. It's got a little squirrel in it.
I'm sorry to contradict you, sir. Not squirrel. Vulpus fulvus.
Vulpus fulvus?
Fox. Silver fox. Hop in, Mr. Valentine.
But, officer...
And there's plenty of room, so bring your friends with you.
Well, it looks as if George is really in a jam this time, and with the law, too. Right now, George, Claire, and Sonny are cruising along in a squad car. The officer is their chauffeur.
I tell you, you're making a big mistake, officer.
Maybe so, sir, but they told me at the station to be on the lookout for a vulpus fulvus. Silver fox.
May I congratulate you on your vocabulary, officer?
Thank you very much. And may I congratulate you on your pulchritude.
What'd you say she was?
Cute.
Oh.
Now, take the glove compartment in my car. Now, most people would keep cigarettes in there. What would you keep in it?
Maps.
Lipstick.
Bicarbonated soda.
Well, I got it filled with books. You know, books. Pocket edition.
Oh, look, officer, if you'll just take us to Mrs. Harrington. She's very absent-minded. She forgot that she asked me to take care of her silver fox.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm taking you to the station.
Jeepers, officer, give us a break.
I'm sorry, son. I'm taking you to the station.
Officer.
Hmm?
Now, officer.
Okay, I'll take you to the Harringtons. There doesn't seem to be anyone at home.
I know Mrs. Harrington is home. I told her to stay home.
Wait a minute. There's someone coming.
Now, if you don't mind, I'll handle this in my own way.
Yes? Oh, what's wrong?
Mrs. Harrington.
I said I'd handle this. Mrs. Harrington, may we please come in?
Yes, of course, but...
Yeah, thank you. Mrs. Harrington, it's about your vulpus fulvus.
Oh, there must be some mistake, officer. There's no one here by that name.
He means your silver fox.
Oh. The servants are out. I'll have to answer the phone.
Go right ahead, Mrs. Harrington. And maybe I shouldn't mention this, but she doesn't appear to be a close friend of yours, Mr. Valentine.
Hello?
But you didn't give her a chance to say anything.
Well,
There's a policeman in my house now,
well,
Captain
you see...
Moore.
Captain Moore, let me talk to him, Mrs. Harrington. Hello? This is Flint speaking. Henry Wadsworth, Longfellow Flint.
Mr. Valentine, what's wrong?
Get this, Mrs. Harrington.
Yes, Captain.
I have your scarf. I took it out of your car.
Why?
Well, I thought it was something you'd picked up.
Oh, good heavens.
Well, I captured somebody already, Captain.
Now, it'll be all right. Just tell the officer that I'm a good friend of yours.
Yeah, he has it on him.
If only my husband stays
Yes, I know.
upstairs.
What's he got to do with it?
Well, I forgot to tell you. You see, my husband is very jealous.
Oh, great.
Thank you, Captain. Au revoir. Now then, Mrs. Harrington, is this man a dear friend of yours?
Well, you see,
Please, Mrs. Harrington, just answer the question.
Oh.
Is this man a dear friend of yours?
Is who a dear friend of hers?
Oh, James. Officer, this is my husband, Mr. Harrington.
Isabel, the officer asked you a question.
Yes.
I caught him with the silver fox, Mr. Harrington. Here it is.
Just a moment, officer. Isabel, is this man a dear friend of yours?
Why?
Yes?
Why,
Yes?
I never saw him before in my life.
Oh, jeepers.
Is it? Take them away, officer. We'll be down later to prepare charges.
Thank you, sir. Sorry to have bothered you, Mrs. Harrington.
But, officer...
Sonny, be quiet.
Come on. Let's go.
Officer, will you please listen to me?
Once and for all, Mr. Valentine, I'm taking you to the station.
But if you just give
Now,
me...
don't try to talk your way out of it, Mr. Valentine. He's got you with the goods.
Claire.
A compact or a fur scarf, what's the difference? After all, we've got to protect our client, haven't we? So forget it, darling. It's just part of the game.
Claire.
When do they allow visitors, officer?
Usually Monday.
Then I'll see you Monday, Mr. Valentine. Oh, and I'll bring you a halibut.
Go ahead. Rub it in.
Goodbye, Mr. Valentine. Take care of him, officer. Sonny, say goodbye to him.
Just a minute, miss. I'm sorry to be disagreeable, but I found all three of you together. Therefore, I'm turning all three of you in together. Now, come along, if you please.
Jailbirds.
Cut it out, will you, Sonny?
Jailbirds behind bars.
Well, we're just being detained until Mr. and Mrs. Harrington get here.
Yeah, then they'll put us away for good. What do you suppose they did to my sister? Poor Claire, she...
Poor Claire, my eye. She was glad it happened. Well, if she saw me now, she'd probably laugh out loud. Claire!
Claire, where are you?
I'm your next-door neighbor. Could I borrow a cup of sugar?
Well, why didn't you tell us you were there?
I wanted to listen to you, Mr. Valentine.
Call me George. This is no time to be formal.
I thought maybe I'd hear you say you were sorry. That shows what a little fool I am.
Oh, well, Claire, listen. I'd give my right arm to have avoided this.
I don't want your right arm. Just once I'd like to hear you say it. I'm sorry.
Well, Claire, I...
Take your time. You've probably got 5 years.
Well, look. I'll tell him you two had nothing to do with this. And when you're out of here, if you're smart, you'll never see me again. You'll have nothing more to do with me. Will you promise?
No.
Claire.
I'd miss you.
Oh, hey. You do like me, don't you?
Oh, I guess I do.
Then why didn't you smile at that copy to let us go?
Oh, now it's my fault.
Everybody all right? Everybody healthy and happy?
Oh, sure. Just one big happy family.
Hey, he's unlocking our cell.
Just a minute, miss. I'll have you out, too.
Where are you going to take us, officer?
Just follow me, if you please.
Mr. Valentine, maybe it's an electric chair.
Now, take it easy, Sonny.
And Mrs. Harrington is here.
With Mr. Harrington?
No, she's alone. Most intelligent woman, Mrs. Harrington. She's looking at my books. She's very interested in them.
Then you better lock him up.
What?
Just a joke.
Oh. Yeah. Well, here they are, Mrs. Harrington.
Oh, Mr. Valentine, will you ever be able to forgive me?
That depends.
I was just telling Officer Flynn how absent-minded I am. I remember it all now. I was standing on the street and...
Yeah. Well, you don't have to explain, Mrs. Harrington. You're not going to prefer charges against these people, are you?
Oh, no.
No.
No, of course not.
No.
Preposterous.
Then they're discharged.
We're free?
Very sorry to have bothered you, miss.
Oh, that's all right.
Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye, sir. See you again sometime.
I hope not.
Goodbye, officer.
Goodbye, miss. You will always remember a glistening pearl in my treasure box of memories.
Whew. Fresh air.
Mr. Valentine, Whatever my bill will be, I want you to double it.
What did you tell your husband?
Well, just what I told the officer.
Okay, now you're going home.
And I'll stay there until the election is over tomorrow.
I know. We'll see to that. We're going with you.
What? All of us?
Yep, all of us. That's the only way we can keep her out of trouble. Come on, Mrs. Harrington. Let's go home.
George.
I thought I told you to stay with Mrs. Harrington.
Sonny's with her. They're having breakfast. George, I'm bored.
Oh, now forget it, will you? It'll soon be over.
George, I'm bored.
Oh, now, come on, Claire. Cheer up. Let's have a big smile.
I don't feel like smiling.
Well, put some lipstick on. You'll feel better.
Guess I could stand a little. All this hanging around. Oh.
What's the matter?
She did it again. My lipstick's gone.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll buy you another one.
Mr. Valentine, okay if I run out and buy a magazine?
Sonny, you were left in charge of Mrs. Harrington.
Yeah, but Mr.
When
Valentine...
you're left in charge, you're supposed to stay with her, understand?
Yeah, but Mr.
Wherever
Valentine...
she goes, you follow her.
Yeah, but I can't follow her everywhere.
Oh, well, all right. What time is it? My watch is always fast.
Oh, mine keeps perfect time. It's exactly... Hey! Hey!
Now what?
I know I was wearing my watch.
Oh, never mind. I'll buy you another one.
Mr. Valentine! Mr.
Now,
Valentine!
take it easy, Mrs. Harrington. What's wrong?
I was looking through my closet and I found this. My silver fox.
Well, of course. Don't you remember? I had
Oh,
it.
I don't mean that one. I mean this one.
This one.
Oh, don't you understand? There are 2 silver foxes in my closet.
Suffering
Mr.
cat.
Valentine.
You were right all along. Oh, I must have picked it up.
Yeah, well, now, don't go to pieces. We haven't time for hysterics.
But that's not all. Mr. Gordon just phoned. He wants to see me immediately. Oh, Mr. Valentine.
All right, Mrs. Harrington. Give me that silver fox. I'll handle Gordon.
I knew all along Mrs. Harrington was guilty. After she shopped, something always disappears.
Will you please calm down, Mr. Gordon? I brought back the silver fox.
You can keep it.
Now, be reasonable. Look, when things disappear, you charge them to Mrs. Harrington's account, don't you?
What's that got to do with it? Harrington's running against me for alderman. There's still time to get a story in this afternoon's paper. What do you think his chances will be then?
It'd be a dirty trick, Mr. Gordon.
Look, Valentine, just between us, Harrington's the best man. He should be alderman, but if I'm made alderman, my wife will think I'm wonderful.
You'd wreck Mr. Harrington just to make your wife think you're wonderful.
You bet I would.
Darling.
Mildred, sweetheart, come in. Oh, sweetheart, this is Mr. Valentine, my wife, Miss Gordon.
How do you do?
Hello. Well, darling,
Well, darling?
is that all you have to say?
Oh, you look wonderful, sweetheart.
I knew it. I'll never forgive you.
Mildred, angel.
Of course, a great big executive like you, so busy running a store and running for alderman, you haven't time to remember a little thing like a birthday, have you?
Birthday? Oh, Mildred, now, sweetheart.
I should have known.
Oh, well, pardon me for cutting in, Mrs. Gordon, but I can't keep my mouth shut. I know it's supposed to be a surprise, too.
A surprise?
A surprise?
He didn't forget your birthday, Mrs. Gordon.
He didn't.
I didn't? I didn't.
Here you are. I just helped him select it for you.
A silver fox. Oh, darling. Oh, I'm going to give you a great big kiss.
Well, I'll run along. That is, unless you have something else to discuss, Mr. Gordon?
Oh, no. No, not a thing.
Good. Happy birthday, Mrs. Gordon. I hope you'll enjoy the Vulpus Vulpus.
Why come back to the office, Mr. Valentine?
Well, after hanging around Mrs. Harrington for the last couple of days, I just wanted to be sure the office was still here.
Hey, we ought to go out and celebrate. After all, Mr. Harrington's an alderman.
Okay, Sonny. Run out and buy a bucket of black coffee.
And a box of aspirin.
Some celebration.
Go on, beat it.
Okay.
Well, I suppose I should congratulate you, Mr. Valentine.
Well, she hasn't paid me yet.
Hey, Mr. Valentine, Mr. and Mrs. Harrington are here.
Oh, no. All right, send them in.
Mr. Valentine, you're through with the case, understand?
But, Claire,
Either that or you're through with me.
See, Isabel, I told you he'd be here.
You were right, James.
Mr. Valentine, my wife has told me everything.
Everything?
Everything, yes. I simply had to.
I'm glad you did, Mrs. Harrington.
We came to thank you for all that you've done for us, Mr. Valentine, and whatever the bill will be, I want you to double it.
Oh, well, thanks a lot.
Send it to my office.
Oh, no need to bother you.
Oh, it's no bother.
Well, I mean, mailing and all that. If you happen to have your checkbook with you.
Checkbook?
No hurry, you understand, but if you want to sit right here at my desk.
Oh, well,
Oh, here you are. Here's a pen.
Oh, thanks.
We just came from my doctor. He thinks I'm cured.
Really, Mrs. Harrington?
Oh, yes, my dear. This last experience, James' career at stake and all. Oh, it was such a shock. Well, it brought me back to earth again.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Here you are, Mr. Valentine. This okay?
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Harrington.
Well, I'm the one who's indebted.
You'll come to see me, Miss Brooks?
Of course, Mrs. Harrington.
And you too, Mr. Valentine.
Yep, you bet.
Come, Isabel.
Yes, James. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Harrington.
Good night.
Good night, good night. Well, Claire, I'm on my way. I'll pick up a can of sardines and my fishing tackle. See you Monday.
How much, Mr. Valentine?
$1,000.
What?
Mhm.
$1,000? Oh, I don't believe it.
Well, then see for yourself. The check's right there.
Where? I don't see it.
Well, I distinctly remember. I put it right under that paperweight, you see?
No.
Well, go ahead and look. It's right under this. It's right.
Mr. Valentine.
Oh, no, she did it again.
Chevron gas stations all through the West invite you to be with us again next week for another chapter of Let George Do It, brought to you by the makers of Chevron Supreme Gasoline. Let George Do It, starring Robert Bailey as George, with Frances Robinson as Claire and Eddie Firestone Jr. as Sonny, is written by Pauline Hopkins, produced and directed by Owen Vinson. Others in the cast were Sarah Selby as Mrs. Harrington, Stanley Waxman as Mr. Harrington, Joe Gilbert as Mildred, Herbert Butterfield as Mr. Gordon, Ed Max as the officer, and Margaret Brayton as the salesgirl. The music was composed and conducted by Charles Dant. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to
Let George Do It.
This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.